Wi-Fi off, so it's like everybody shuts their Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got audio on the camera.
It's just check YouTube.
Looks like it's working.
It's got a separate phone number.
Jim, yeah.
He parks my pickup, like right by his classroom, so he's in the truck and he can pick the Wi-Fi up from the classroom.
There you go.
ARMGODS rules meeting, guys, are about to start. Sean Hancock, the main man, is about to give his refereeing superstardom the go. Any second now, so we'll be over there in 2 seconds. Just make sure that we're live and ready to go. Yeah.
Is the audio working? Okay,
That's not bad. Powerful. Shut the door, please, Mr. Wolf. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. Independence Cup, as Mateus turns around and shows off the silverware. This cup is going to be going back to one of the teams, rather USA or UK, with the Independence belts and World Championship belts on the line. Now, during this 11v11 superstar matchups, we've got the likes of World Champion Mindaugas Dulskas, Nick Stone. We have Paul Cruz challenging for the belt. We've got James the Brick Wall. We've got the legend, the living legend himself. How he's still alive, I don't know. Tim Bresnan, 6 cardiacs and 3 strokes. He's still living. And the one and only Johnny Chocolate Thunder. And in the corner there, we've got Josh T. Don't take any notice of him. But you do need to take notice of this young man, Sean Hancock, as we invite the one and only Alan Littman Ford, multiple times Canadian national champion. And the one and only PAA president of the UK Dan Earthquake. We'll be going through the rules. Over to Sean Hancock.
All right, guys. My name's Sean Boom Hancock. I'm here for the Independence Cup with ARMGODS. So the rules are going to be a little bit different than the norm that you see online. So if you see some rules posted online and they're a little bit different tomorrow night, this is why, because we're a little bit different than the norm. So we have 30 seconds everything. There's no 1 minute breaks, 30-second breaks for in between the rounds. We have 30-second timeouts. If someone does call a timeout, competitors are allowed 2 timeouts per fight. And the grips, they have a typical fair grip set up for 30 seconds. If they don't go to the fair grip, we're going to go to what's called a referee's grip. The referee's grip's a little bit different here than everywhere else. We're going to get their hands palm to palm. Their webbing's the same height. I'm going to say thumbs down, fingers down, ready, go. And they're going to fight right there. You see where I see thumb knuckles right here. I see flat wrist right here. It's a foul if you bend your wrist before I say go. It's a foul if when you close your fingers, you close over your thumb knuckle. It's going to be a foul. So don't do that. Open the hands one more time. So if you fight me during the setup, if somebody's trying to fight, if they're doing something, I'm going to tell them to stop. They don't stop. Look, 1 foul. There's no warnings here. It's all fouls. Look, I don't care if you pull or not. You're going to get 3 fouls. You're going to lose. Flat hand. Don't move. Thumbs down. Fingers down. Ready, go. So that's exactly how it's going to be done right there. We're not going to jockey around and waste a whole lot of time. If 2 competitors are in the fair grip, they're trying to set up, and they're just, I can tell right off the bat that I'm not going to get them set up in 30 seconds. I might do it in 15 seconds. I'm going to stop and go straight to ref script so we get the match started for the viewer's pleasure, okay? Elbow hops with no advantage would be no foul, and that's the referee's discretion. What I mean by that is if you're popping, if the elbow's popping, these little small pops like we see all the time, and it gets stopped or gets fouls called all the time, we're not going to stop those elbows if there's no advantage gained. Advantage gained can be when your hand's going forward or your hand's going backwards, because as we've seen before, some people will lift their elbow to absorb a hit. So if you lift your elbow and you take a hit right there, if your hands move in any direction when your elbow's off the pad, we're going to consider that an advantage gained, and then we're going to issue fouls for those. Those are going to be running fouls. We have some running fouls that are going to accumulate to 3. If you get 3, you have a loss, and then we'll also have some stop fouls that I'll go over in a second. Let me talk about the other running fouls. So if we have the elbow fouls, if your elbow comes up, and there's an advantage gained, that's just going to be a running foul. So we're going to call 1 foul on this side right here. If it comes off the back the front, or either side, that's going to be a running foul. And you'll keep having those fouls accumulate. So 1 foul, 2 fouls until you get to 3. If you get to 3, we're going to stop the match and call a winner over here. The other running fouls are the king's move. So king's move is allowed as long as you're on the winning side of the table. It says winning side is a tick past 12. If you're in the neutral side or losing side and your shoulder goes below the pad, we're going to give you a command to come up. You have 3 seconds to come up. If your elbow comes up, if your shoulder comes up within those 3 seconds, you're still rocking on. If you go back down, you're going to get another foul. Every time you go down is going to be additional foul. Every time you stay down for more than 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, that's 1 foul. He stays down for another 3 seconds. Every time he's down for more than 3 seconds, it's going to be another foul. Again, when they get to 3 fouls, we're going to stop and issue a winner on this side. Those are your running fouls. The fouls we're going to stop for is if somebody just blatantly comes off the table. If they come way up here, something crazy like that, a lot of times we call that a Louisiana hop. Or sometimes I'll call it a Mississippi mudslide. When they slide all the way off the back of the pad right there, we're going to stop that. We're going to issue a foul and then restart. Shoulder across center is always going to be a stop and a foul. You can't do that. I can't allow any time for that shoulder to be across center because, as you know, a presser, that he gains too much advantage for that. So as soon as the shoulder comes across center, we're going to stop and issue a shoulder foul and restart the match. The fouls are going to add up. This is where this is where the Independence Cup rules are going to be different than the other ARMGODS that you've seen before. The fouls are going to add up, but if you have the higher foul count and you pin, it's not a restart, it's a win. So if this side right here, he elbow hops 2 times, we have 2 fouls on him. This guy doesn't have any fouls. If he ends up winning, that is a win. It's a match winner. Typically it would be a restart. It's not going to be a restart, it'd be a win. All slips go to the straps. There are no fouls for slips. Intentional slip out is just a slip. It's not a foul. It goes to the straps. Once they go to the strap, they're going to stay in the strap. We're not going to come out. If we elbow hop or fouls or there's any reason to stop the match, we're going to leave them in the strap. We're going to readjust it, tighten it back down. We're going to rock with it. There's no dangerous position calls. No dangerous position calls whatsoever. You got to protect yourself. If you're here because you're at the top of the game. Protect your own position. One last one, since we have larger pads, these have a larger, they have an extra inch on the front of the pad. They have an extra inch on the back of the pad. So this will allow opponents' arms to stretch all the way back. Their elbows go all the way back and they go down to the neutral side of the table. We've seen this a lot of times before. This is the neutral side of the table. Nothing can happen there. Even though they're below the pin line, nothing can happen in the neutral side of the table. The competitor has to push his opponent to his winning side of the table to win the match. If one stops pulling and he lifts up his elbow, that's just going to be elbow foul. So it's very important to not stop pulling until you hear the referee say, stop. When you hear the referee say stop, stop then. He's either going to issue a foul, he's going to issue a win or something like that. But until you hear the referee say stop, keep pulling. Thanks for tuning in. That's the rules. You guys check us out, man. It's going to be a really, really fun time. We got people from all over the place. If you notice, we're in a hotel room right now. We wanted the intimate setting, but we have some other things planned for this crowd, this room, for a different type of viewing in a little while, and we can't talk about that.
Questions? If you go like the running fouls, yeah, you go 1, 2, it's no reset. You just carry on going.
Correct.
And then if I win with these couple elbowing fouls, if I win.
If you win, you win.
Okay.
Yeah. So the only reason you don't win is if you accumulate 3 fouls. Then we'll stop and issue it. So when you hear me say foul, that's not stop.
Okay.
Don't stop until you hear me say stop.
Okay.
When you hear me say that's 1 foul, that's 1 foul here, that's 2 fouls, that's 2 fouls here, keep pulling. Keep digging, doing everything you can to pin. When you pin, I'm going to stop the match. As soon as any part between the fingers and the natural wrist line right here either touches the pad or goes parallel. This is one thing I would like you guys to note right here, especially the guys with the longer arms. I see this too many times. the guys with the longer arms, they'll pin their opponent forearm to the pad and they quit pushing. That's not a pin, guys. It's got to be between the wrist to the fingers. So when their forearm hits the pad right there, the wrist of the fingers is still above the pad. So you got to keep pushing. You got to do something. You got to break them over or push them down. You got to get from their natural wrist line to their fingertip to either touch the pad or go below the pad. Yes. Timeouts?
Rule.
I do have one.
Timeout rule, yeah.
I think
But if it's like intentional foul, it comes off and then you hold it there, so then you stop, yeah.
Yeah, the timeout rule. I don't think did we get to the timeout rule?
If you intentionally go off the front, no, he said intentional off the back would be the reset, like if you came way off the back.
Yeah. If it's a flagrant, stupid elbow foul, something's huge, we're going to stop.
Bail, basically.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
If somebody's trying to bail out and they come way off, then it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's
foul.
probably going to be Americans that do that. We don't run away.
Yeah. No, you just do the intentional elbow to reset. But I had one question. When you said
We conquered 2/3 of the world.
Back of the pad, both these and you're neutral, you gotta bring them on the side. So if I'm here,
No,
and
we
we're
give it
both
away,
center,
Tim.
and I'm on the back of the pad, he's on the back of the pad, and I rotate him straight up, like kind of rotate him right over, that's not a pin in the center of the table?
Not the center of the table.
So I would have to go center and then drag him just over that one little bit. How far over is that?
I'll tell you, the table is broke up into 3 sections. The table has a winning side, it has a losing side, and it has a neutral side. Between the corner of the pad, the corner of pad there, that's the neutral side of the table. So anything past these corners right here to your side is your winning side. Anything past the corners on this side is your losing side. Okay. Same thing with positions. This is neutral position. This is winning position. This is losing position. Okay. So that's the same thing with the King's move. If you're from here, neutral position or losing position, it's commands to come up and you'll accumulate fouls if you're down here in the neutral or the losing position. But if you're just a tick past 12, you can hang out there all day long and there's not going to be any calls to come up. Yeah.
There's no slipping foul. Slipping in a losing position is not going to be cool.
No, it's just wrap.
Slips are just slips. There's no fouls for slips.
I don't understand this King's move. What's a King's move?
Explain that to me, please.
Well, no, we've nicknamed it the geriatric move for you.
Sean, I do have a question.
What are you saying? I don't understand what you mean.
Don't listen.
Hey, Sean, I do have a question about the center of the table. So, like, for example, this is for like setup purposes. You said you have like a dot, so the athletes can understand where the center of the table is, and then to make sure we don't cross our shoulders, like imaginary line.
Oh, don't worry. Your shoulder won't be crossing. Only your hand will be touching pad. Don't you worry. You just
If you get so quick, they'd be like, "What happened?"
come on, Joe.
So
Yeah,
don't get a dot.
so I will actually install some type of dot on this table before the matches. That way, when I tell you to center, I have to have your both hands center this way and center this way. And then if I have the dot there, that helps the athletes understand what I mean by center right there. So if they're way over here and this guy says, "No, I'm in the center," I can point to that dot and I say, "No, you're not." He'll like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm not." So I will put a dot in the center of that table before we have the matches. I think somebody else asked a question a second ago about I think it was Bob, actually. He's probably being hard to get along with. But Bob was asking about the elbow hops or elbow fouls, which one's a stop and which one is a runner.
If you drag it off, like if you just push it off the front, that's a runner, right?
So when it comes off the front and comes back, that's going to
No.
be a runner.
If you just leave it off the front, it just runs and you say foul, loss, right?
Is that what we're
If
going to
you take the piss and you come forward and you leave it off, that's a big stop foul.
Okay.
If you come off and went back on, no advantage gained, and again, that's 2 fouls. Again, you've just lost the match.
The only thing that we're going to count seconds and accumulate fouls is that wretched King's move. So when you're in the losing position or neutral and you're down this King's move, we're going to give those calls. We're going to call it's going to be called a foul, right foul. And then they have 3 seconds to come up. 1, 2, 3. That's a second foul. 1, 2, 3. Third foul, stop. Winner. Okay.
Still don't know what a King's move is, but rock on.
We're going to call it the Bob's move. Yes, sir.
How do we get to pick sides?
We're gonna flip for sides, or you gonna pick sides?
In an ideal world, all British get the good side. But due to the fact that we're in America, we're going to toss a coin because we all know that, that's what.
I do carry a coin, so we'll do a coin toss. If you're
It
not,
will be a British pound, by the way, not a dollar.
We can't fit the dollars here. So two tail sides.
That's all we'll have. Yeah, there'll be a King Charles and a Queen Victoria just there. Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Jody.
Yeah,
I think we
so
should give
coin
him
toss,
good sides.
easy.
He's gonna lose anyway, so.
Next, Sean, next question.
That's correct.
We can't contest anything. Video replays. No.
rest of
And it's go on the go. Ready, go on the go. You
Ready to go.
move
So
on the
that's
go.
another thing. Y'all listen up to my commands, because all of my commands are timed exactly the same. So that kind of helps you get it in your brain what my ready goes like. So when I say shoulder, in, wrist, straight, whatever I'm saying is the same speed. So shoulder, in, ready, go. Same speeds. Okay, so that's my cadence. Ready, go. And you'll usually hear that if your shoulder's out, or if your opponent's shoulder's out, that's going to be my last call that I go to before ready, go. So when you start hearing shoulder in, the next call is going to be ready, go. Okay, but don't think that I'm always going to say shoulder in, because if both shoulders are in, I'm not going to say that. But I'm just saying, when you hear shoulder in, just be ready. That's your yellow light. The next one's the green light. Ready, go.
Would it be worthwhile getting two of the guys up and then just kind of doing a bit of a practice in terms of how you're going to say things?
Sure.
Just from a timing
Dan, Alan?
perspective.
Sure.
Is Denise okay with this?
Once you back pressure your side of the table, knuckles, centers this way, center, a little bit more, center, wrist, shoulder in, ready, go. Fell to the wrong side. All right, that's it. You want another one? You want to jockey around a whole bunch, because I'm going to set my timer for 30 seconds. If there's a little infractions and I feel like I can get them straightened out, I'll go to the 30. But if I feel like I can't, we're never going to get there. Stop. Ref grip. Hands open. Palms flat. Shoulder forward. Don't move. Thumbs down. Fingers down. Ready, go. Stop. Loser.
So I got one question on that. So you said thumbs down, fingers down. What if somebody don't want to cap and cap? Are you going to ask that prior to that?
Nope. You close your hand how you want to, your fingers how you want to, but you can't cover their thumb knuckle. If you want to go high, you can go as high as you can without covering your thumb knuckle. If you cover your thumb knuckle, it's going to be an automatic foul.
I only say that because, an example, let's just say if Alan and I are in this rest group, right? You say thumbs down, but I don't want to cover.
Right.
I have to move my thumb up. That's a foul because I move, right?
No, you can push your thumb like that.
Yeah, if I want to grip like this.
You can push your thumb like that and keep it up. You push it in. You've got to still put it like that. So
right.
And then you can wrap below your own finger.
Oh, okay. I
below
just
your
want
own
to make
thumb.
sure, because if I move, I don't want to get dinged for that. If I don't want to cap.
No. As long as you push it, you have got to push your thumb in. So even if you keep your thumb uncapped, you can still push your thumb in, can't you?
Okay.
Yeah. Just like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's family rules. And
So,
remember, you've got 30 seconds to get time.
Come around here with that camera and get Jody doing that. So Jody, go ahead and simulate that.
So if I'm doing this,
I need your elbow forward.
Okay.
Hand down.
Okay.
Shoulder in. Don't move. Elbows and shoulders are good. Don't move. Thumbs down. Fingers down. Ready, go.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's no way you're going to do that with James anyway, is there?
It won't matter.
Because he's going to leather you.
I'm gonna bust his ass.
He's going to be James Bitch instead of James Beast, okay?
I tell you what, I'll tell you now, I told you. The bet is, if you beat James Beach, I give you $1,000. If you lose to James Beach, you peck Marcus's penis.
Wow. Hey, y'all listen. Y'all listen up. There was a question about the timeouts. The timeouts cannot be taken during the match. If they're already pulling, you can't have your down man say timeout. We're going to stop the match. But anytime before I say go. So if I'm setting up the referee's grip and I'm saying thumbs down, you saying timeout, timeout. I'll stop that and we'll do a timeout, 30-second timeout again. Each fight can have 2 timeouts if needed, 30 seconds long each. What do you have, Bob?
Nothing.
I can have 2 timeouts, one after the other, straight away as well. Yeah.
Once you told me that
You
when
can
you
use that
got that King's move that I still don't understand.
Do you still not understand the King's rule?
Oh, he's just taking the mickey of you.
So you said each match, each round?
Each fight.
Okay, for the full thing, okay.
Yeah, I think with the timeout rule, guys, your corner man can single it or you can signal it, but you can only use it like before your match starts, or obviously if you want to use it for an extra 30 seconds rest, you can do it. Now remember, you only get 30 seconds rest in between our rounds. That's what we have, 30 seconds, because it takes you another 30 seconds to get to the table. So, overall, you're getting you about 1 minute and 10 seconds. We're fan friendly. We're not people who's going to give you 1.5 minutes and a 6-minute setup. You know that, how it works. We're not going to build the sport via keeping people watching for 7 minutes. Our wrestlers might do it, but people who we want their bums on seats, get general public in, are not going to do it. So it's our responsibility to build not only ourselves, build the promotion, build our own legacies, but also build the sport. We're still very young in the sport. We're pioneers. Every one of us in this room is a pioneer. And that's the thing, not the sport's light years behind all the others. And it's up to us now, even at this level, to continue to build it. So,
Another question.
Sure.
Leg positioning. Can the leg go across the record?
how many ARMGODS matches have you played?
I just want to be clear.
You're fucking world champion. You know what you're doing.
I know, but like someone else is going to be. Like people fucking putting their leg opposite the side of the fucking
Yeah, you
leg.
can. Kick it off if you don't like it, yeah.
Oh, so
yeah,
you mean,
asking.
so you're talking about they're going like this? Hey, they're going like this?
17 matches.
Come like that?
Yeah.
You see that?
Because
Yeah.
there is rules now coming somewhere else that you
And
can't
he'll
do.
kick it off.
The guy on the
No,
opposing
don't do it to
side
Bob.
said,
You can't do it to
"Foot's
Bob."
on my side.
Right.
If you don't say something.
I mean, we do have a referee right there that we can ask if it's legal.
That's what I was going to say.
Gentlemen, Mr. Hancock has something to say.
Well, typically, Paul, you tell me if you want this to happen. The rule for the leg across the table is allowed as long as your opponent doesn't say anything about it. If your opponent tells the referee, I don't want his leg there, then I'll give you a command to put your leg down, and then you're not allowed to put it back up there anytime during the match or before the match. If you do, it's an automatic foul. But it's only if your opponent doesn't want it there. Do you want that to happen, or do you want to just say somebody put their leg there, and if the opponent don't want it there, they just kick it off?
I want it to be kicked off.
There you go. I like it. I like it. So we're not doing the typical IFAWF rules on that. We're doing ARMGOD rules there.
No pussy rules, men's Spartans.
If you have your leg on the other side of the table, your opponent has his leg on the other side of the table, and you don't want it there, kick the hell out of it.
Apart from Bob Brown.
Here's mine.
We're not doing it to Bob.
Wow.
Kicking it off.
No, we're not kicking Bob. He's 72 years old.
That'd be funny.
It wouldn't be funny.
The leg just kind of laying there, standing up by itself.
Says the other side.
Anything else, guys, anymore?
Any more questions? Anybody have any more?
By the way, the drug test will be here in the next hour. We're the only promotion to drug test, by the way. So you know. Just turn camera that way. Okay, everyone left then. No one left in the room with it.
Yeah.
William drink exactly what?
For sexiness? Yeah. Right.
With the referee questions?
Do you want to close the show then, Sean?
Sir?
Do you want to close the show?
Yes, sir. Y'all tune in tomorrow night for ARMGODS. What's the name of this thing? Independence Cup. There you go. Can we cut that?
Yeah.
It's live. Live.
I know.
Please, Sean.
I can cut my footage.
Sorry, but that one's live. Paul, you want to push the button?
All right. Fast and Furious.
We brought this over to show you. We're taking it back over here.
So, just so you know, obviously we've got a couple of Independence Cup belts. They're going on the line, so that's what's going to be going out tomorrow. There's only a couple, but they've got the world title belts as well. A couple of these are online. Craig Sanders, Corey Miller. Craig Sanders will beat Corey, by the way. We've got Minder and Nick Stone. You know, that's one. We've got Bogdan and Paul Cruz. And of course, this
Team trophy.
that's the team one. That's the Independence Cup.
So whichever team has the most wins this, correct?
Yes.
And I get to take it home when America wins. Correct?
Actually, no. It's General Grondon who gets the cup. But every year when we continue this, guys, this is going to be etched upon it. We're going to have it engraved, whichever team won. And then, you all get to hold it for 12 months because this is going to be a yearly event. And it's something that hopefully we're going to grow into something massive. So you're all part of something big, brand new, a new thing that's about, it's a historical event between two amazing countries who are good friends, and between lots of good arm wrestlers who are very passionate and are also good friends between a lot of us. So I'm super excited to announce what's happening. ARMGODS is going to be making big waves in the States. So Bob Brown, you can tell you, where's it, Bob?
You left.
Yeah. Oh. So you can tell your mate Burger, what's he called? Burger Baxter, that we're here to stay and we're going to run East versus West out of town. Oh, but I'm not even joking. Boom! No, but listen, we're doing good things. We're here to stay. We're in Canada as well. This is not a British promotion. It's not an Irish promotion. This is an arm wrestling community promotion. And we're going to show you that with 98% and the Big Boom and a few other guys around the town, that we're going to make something big, special for every level, from grassroots to novices to mediums to the top elite guys. We're going to make it special. And that's what's happening. Bang. Boom. We'll call that a good night. Boom.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.